Welcome to the One Lane Road podcast. DK just got done with Sports Talk with DK number 2. Had you get any feedback on last week's show? Or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I can't remember honestly. I'd love to make something up right now, but I have no idea. Nothing of what I've been coming and going so hard, and
Yeah.
you have too. And we're all busy, and tell you what, I listened back to a little bit of our podcast that we done on Sunday.
Yeah.
I might have been in the midst of a mental breakdown last week, and I just didn't know it.
I was sitting here. I've had that feeling before of DK's on the edge, and that was one of those. That's kind of why I just let it go. Because you know what happens if you put a cup of water in the microwave.
Go ahead and tell me.
You just heat it up, right? It looks fine, everything's good.
Yeah.
And then you stick a spoon in it, and the son of a bitch blows up in your face. I was afraid to stick that spoon in that cup of coffee.
I just don't know. It's a good analogy because, I really don't know. I'm one of the most laid back people you'll ever meet, but boy, sometimes
Though?
But I'm a little. I'm a complex.
Yeah.
If you think you've got me figured out, good luck because I don't even know me that well.
Yeah, I was saying,
I'm pretty easy to get along with.
I watched Shrek the other day.
Yeah.
And you're like an onion. You're like an ogre. You're like an onion. You got layers.
Yeah, I guess. But I just don't like I try to get along with most people, but some people just don't get it. There's some dumbasses you can tell, hey, this is what the deal is. Let's use our common sense here.
Like big ogre, shady looking.
Big old goofy.
Big goofy ogre looking.
That when they
fibbing giants.
You have to tell stuff over and over,
again.
They just don't get it.
Yeah, man.
I don't know,
Jack. So you brought up something a while ago on the sports show that I wanted to go back and talk about, just because a story popped into my head. I didn't want to throw it on your show because it really didn't have any relevance at that point in time.
You should have, because it's pretty hard doing that shit by myself. And
well,
it's pretty bland. I almost fell asleep talking on that show a while ago, so I apologize when people hear stories
we'll figure out what our dynamic is on that show. I want to give you plenty of room on it, so I don't want to interject a lot. And I'm kind of a loud personality sometimes, but I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway. Get back to what we were saying. Was going over clubs. You were going over clubs and stuff. That one club had been everything. You remember that club behind and it may have been called the Station. I'm not sure. The one up there behind the train depot. May have been called the Depot or something.
Yeah. There's old factory building, old Wilson building.
Yeah.
I went there a few times, yeah.
The night it opened.
Yeah.
One of our friends, and I'm not going to name any names here.
Yeah.
One of our friends went in there, and it was the night it opened, and he went to the bathroom, come back out, and he said, man, I was in the middle of a fight whenever I come back out. He said, I knew something was going on whenever I went in because there was just a lot of tension in that corner. He said, when I walked back out, there was a fight going on.
Yeah.
And so he walked out into it, and he said he was just in the middle of it and was seeing everything happening, and he just kind of faded back out into the middle of the crowd, and got the hell out of there. But he was there long enough to see a guy get hit in the eye with a beer bottle, and it knocked his eyeball out.
Ooh. Busted
his orbital socket, knocked his eyeball out.
Damn.
So at that point in time, I was working at Mid-State Motorsports, and it was after that. It was quite a while after that opened up, actually. Anyway, there was a bunch of guys that I was working with there, and said, hey, do y'all want to go? You want to go out with us tonight? I said, I don't know where you're going. They said, we're going out to whatever the name of that place was, and I believe it was the Station. Or the
I think
Depot.
it was the Station.
And I said, no, hell no, I ain't going out there. And I told him that story. One of the guys I was standing there talking to goes, yeah, and that hurt like hell too. And I said, that was you? He said, yeah, man. He said, it knocked my eyeball plumb out of the socket, was hanging down. He said it was really disorienting because I could see the ground and in front of me at the same time.
Ah, shoot.
And I said, you got to be kidding. Turned his head, showed me the scar. And I said, well, what happened? He said, well, I got arrested, but they took me straight to the hospital. He said, I went out. He said, and I saw the cops. He said, and I had my eyeball in my hand. And he said, the cop asked me, he said he was covering his eye. And he said, the cop asked me, he said, hey, was you in that fight? And I said, no, man. He said, turn around here and look at me. He said, no, I got to go. To the cops, and one of them grabbed him by the arm and turned him around, and he pulled his hand down off his arm whenever he did, and his eyeball hanging out there. And he goes, oh, God. Well, this is him. This is the guy. and they arrested him, took him straight to the hospital, but they didn't charge him with anything.
I guess God. I've never heard that story.
Yeah, I'll tell you who it was later on, but who the two people were. But that was one of the last times I ever went. Prior to that was one of the last times I ever went to a club up there.
Oh, well,
dangerous place.
I didn't know Cookville got that gang.
That gangsta, buddy. That was gangsta.
It's a good story, man. I can't. Yeah,
it was just weird that I was telling the story to the guy. He goes, "Yeah, you got it all right, man. That's what happened."
Wow, that's great. Well, at least it was
yeah.
Most time stories.
I guess it was so
big to start with.
Big to start with. It was hard to make it any bigger.
Yeah, I got smacked in the face there one time by a girl.
Oh yeah,
that was just because I asked her if she was going home with one of her buddies. Because I mean, it was pretty known they were doing that kind of late night hookup kind of deal. And I said, I don't know why you're talking to so and so. You know, you're ending up with. Leave it to me.
You're right.
I had no horse in the race.
You didn't happen to say it in front of the other guy too, did you?
I don't know. It's details, man.
Yeah, details ain't important.
Details ain't important. So yeah, I'm glad to be back with you after last weekend of being in Nashville all daggum weekend, and I was just you hit me up, and I was a little bit on the rag here Sunday.
Well, I mean,
it's my man period.
That's
just the cramps.
It was late too. I mean, when I texted you, I just got done working. We got done working earlier than I was afraid we would, because we went from building one of those things in like 10 hours to building 3 in 15 hours. So it just went a lot faster than what I expected it to. So got done a lot faster than what I'd intended on.
I thought to myself, after telling some of the stories I ended up telling, I thought,
go ahead and clear that.
And some of the negativity, I don't like to get too negative on this show. And I was kind of a little.
Well, it's just where you're at that point in time, right?
Whiny ass last. So anyway,
I was completely out of it. I don't know if I said 6 or 7 things the whole time. That may have been you may have just been looking to fill time. So that may have been what the situation was.
I don't know. I listened back to part of it. I hadn't listened to all of it. I listened to part of it, and it didn't seem as bad. So maybe it was all right. But we're.
I did get a text that said, "What's the name of that video on YouTube?"
Jesus Christ! By who? From who?
From Mackie, our buddy Mackie.
Really?
Yeah. And now Mackie knows what the name of the video is.
Of my YouTube.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't even friends with Mackie then, so maybe he's never seen it. Maybe never seen it.
He apparently had not, because he texted me and asked me what the name of the video was, and now he knows. So get ready for next time you see him. He knows and has watched it.
That's weird, you know.
I almost told him to post it.
Yeah, let's don't do that. Mackie, don't do that, please. That'd be great, because
it'd be great if you did.
Actually, it wouldn't. Actually, it'd be kind of bad for everything. We talked about it last week. I don't even know why we keep talking about it, because it keeps surfacing that way.
Right.
And I want it to go away forever, ever.
Right.
Forever, and it won't, because we actually have talked about it. Sorry, Miss Jackson.
And now, related to that, one of the people you were talking about, whenever we were talking about that, was Trey Crowder, right?
Yeah.
So no, watched a documentary one night this week. And lo and behold, I seen Trey Crowder in a documentary.
Be damn.
Yeah, he was in A Leaf of Faith, which is a Mark Bell. Mark Bell is a power lifter. He's the one that wrote, I'm sorry. He shot a couple of different documentaries, Bigger, Stronger, Faster.
Yeah,
and, Trophy Kids, or Trophy Kids, I believe. Anyways, the one about parents that are, just too into their kids being in sports from way too young. And then
was that based out of Solana?
Maybe.
No.
And then anyway, he done this Leaf of Faith, which is about Kratom.
Uh-huh.
And they showed one of Trey's pretty early stand-ups, a short clip of it, and then had him sitting on the couch talking to Mark in the film.
It really is crazy just to watch where he's come from.
Yeah,
where he was a few years ago, where he is now. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was just odd, just to see.
Yeah, it still blows my mind when me and Trader were best friends, but through Dustin Thompson, we were always around each other a lot.
Yeah,
throughout the years. So to still kind of just be scrolling in my, being in my recliner and scrolling down HBO and seeing the Bill Maher show, which I've seen 2 episodes ever of the Bill Maher show, and just because Trey was on. And it was just funny because it would say info Trey Crowder. I'm like, man, this is nuts.
Mm-hmm. He's on The View a couple times too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been on The View, and he's done a lot of appearances. Quick fun fact: I never knew Trey Crowder didn't believe God or was a liberal. Nor I didn't even know what a liberal was 5 years ago. I'm pretty positive. I never knew that he felt either which way because we have actually never talked about anything but Sturgill Simpson and the Tennessee Titans, just for the most part. We always just talk about outlaw country music and the NFL and NBA. We never. There's some funny pictures of my house at a party years ago with all these guys getting me fired up when Dwight Howard was actually relevant. They were telling me he was the real Superman when he donned the cape at the dunk contest, and he was Superman. So I'm sitting here, and it's hilarious. And apparently, it was cold as hell in my garage because everybody's got these American Eagle hoodies. I had apparently a infinite number of American Eagle hoodies.
And you just passed out.
And I passed out. Literally, John Godwin, Thad Johnson, Trey Crowder, and myself all sitting around the house in American. No, I had a flannel shirt on, but everybody else, those 3 guys had American Eagle hoodies of mine, and. So they're all just dying laughing because I'm sitting here just pointing at everybody saying Shaquille O'Neal averaged 24, 14, and 4 as a GD rookie.
Dwight Howard really was a flop in the NBA, wasn't he? From the hype that he had. I mean,
he had about 2 good years.
Yeah.
That was pretty solid. 2 to 3, 4 years.
The hype around obviously he's a huge name, so calling him a flop is a bit of a stretch. But what I'm getting at is from the hype that he had around him, he never lived up to that amount.
He didn't, and it took... Kobe Bryant even said it took me playing with Dwight Howard to go back and appreciate Shaquille O'Neal.
Right.
And seriously, I mean, Shaq was a goofball, but he performed on the court.
Right.
He was a monster on the court, and Dwight just never. I don't know. He had a back injury, and it kind of cost him a little bit. But he's playing, I think, now for his 4th team in 4 years. He's got traded every offseason. Past 4 years, so
and he's go at Stephon Marbury route and head over to China. He is making bank in China, Jack.
He's they built a statue of him there.
Yeah, well, he's giving back. He actually bought a house, and I believe he has Chinese citizenship now, which they only let you do if you give a substantial amount of your income to the Chinese government. So I mean, he's not only is he over there and doing well, he's felt at home enough to give back to the community. So I mean,
it's been good to him. I mean,
it's been really good to him.
Before he left, he was crying on a YouTube video eating Vaseline out of the jar.
That's okay.
Where I'm approximately a month away from that. If I don't slow down and get some peace in my life, I'm gonna be eating Vaseline out of a jar, crying on Facebook Live.
That shit's flammable. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't do it.
I had go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So. I've been prank calling since age about 4. I prank called the Porky Shake with my sister and my cousin Christy that passed away. I called when I was about 4, and I've been pretty good since.
Yeah.
I don't do it. I try not to do it because I'm old now. It's not really something you should probably be doing at my age. But so a cat that I work with named Connor was sitting yesterday, and he's like, "Dude, seriously, a male enhancement again?" I went, "What is it?" He goes, "Some guy named Jeffrey used to have this number. And apparently he's on this sexual male enhancement stuff."
Yeah.
He's like, "So I can't, they won't quit calling." Hello. Yes, Mr. Jeffrey, how are you? Doing good. This is about the male enhancement once again. I said, "You talking about them hard pills?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Load me up. Send them to me.
I said, "What are we talking about?" "Well, it is only a charge of..." No. I need to know, do they work for you? Have you had these used on you, ma'am?
Uh-huh.
And she says, I am single. I says, so yes, you have.
So you're getting it.
I said, you're handing these samples out on dates. "No, sir. No, you're silly. What is your name?" And I said,
"Jeffrey, we done covered this."
I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Are you still at so-and-so address?" I went, "Who is this?" He's like, "Dude, they've been calling." It's not me. It's like, I said, "Yeah, tell me the information you got. You are Mr. Jeffrey Hughes?" I said, "Jeffrey Hughes." I said, "You see the irony there?" I said, "We're talking about male enhancement. You're talking about Jeffrey Hughes." I said, "You know what I mean?" And they never went away. And I went so sophomoric on them. She goes, "I am going to need your email address, sir. to send you all information. I said, it's HUGENUTZ 42. I said, can you repeat that back to me? She goes, yes, that is Huge Nuts 42. Oh, man, I had to be done. I was like, are you kidding me, lady?
Just had a meltdown right there.
Oh, I was loving it. And I said, so are you available like on weekends? I'm like, are you single? Is you single? We can holler, I can holler at you. She said,
send me a pack of them pills and holler
at me.
She said,
how old are you, my friend? I said, I'm 34. I am 25. I said, I love younger girls. I said, you're about Asian, 5'1", brown eyes. Mr. Hughes, how do you know that?
Uh-huh.
I said, I've already found your Facebook page. What? Screaming her out. And so I hang up on her. Just after a while, we kept messing with her. I mean, I went on. I can't even tell you what all I said. And then she called back. I know you hung up on me, Mr. Jeffrey. What have you, blah, blah, blah. And I said.
She's trying to get it now.
I asked her for a cell phone number.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, my cell phone number? I am on recorded line. I said, can you add me on Facebook? Yes, I will, Mr. Jeffrey.
Well,
I will look
you
up on Facebook. And it was really weird. And I said, do you know how I know we're hitting it off? And she said, how would we know this? I said, you ain't got to say too much by the look in your eyes. I can tell you want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have got to go, Mr. Yu. They ain't called back since.
That's good. Speaking of getting unsolicited phone stuff, around election time, you get all those phone calls. I had 9 messages on the house phone about will you go vote for this person, or are you going to vote for this person? We need to get you out of the polls.
Yeah.
I had 9 for one. I had 13 total, 9 for one person, and then the rest of them for the other 4 for random people. They're just doing a phone thing. I got a text message today. About it.
Whoa.
It said, hey, Lucas, Lucus. So.
Luscious.
Yeah. This is Nick with TN Victory 2018. So, hey, Nick, TN Victory 2018, go ahead and lose my number. He's in Knoxville, 865 area code.
Let's call him right now.
Have you been keeping up with the Senate legislative races this year? Carol Abney is running for State House, and Mary Alice Carfey is for State Senate. And I know that both of them will stand up for Tennesseans on every vote they take. They support public schools, good-paying jobs, and policies that put Tennessee families ahead. Can they count on your vote in November? So let me go ahead and tell you something, Nick, with TN Victory 2018. No, they cannot. And you know why they cannot? Because you texted me.
Can I call that number right now?
Yeah, call it if you want to.
Let me see what it says.
The one thing that aggravates me more than anything, I don't mind you door knocking. I don't mind you, standing out at the polls and doing all that stuff. Go ahead and slander everybody on go ahead and slander everybody on your TV ads and stuff. Don't call my house. Don't, and for sure as hell, don't text me.
No,
don't text me.
That's crazy. They got everybody's cell phone number now.
Yeah, and I can tell that they've got it on file at the. He got it from the where I'm registered because.
Error has occurred.
He robo-dialed me. I can tell that they got it from my voter registration because they've got my name spelled wrong on my voter registration card.
That's
so, Nick, yes, I'm going to vote. No, I'm not going to vote for either one of them. No. I'm actually going to vote for whoever's running against them just because they didn't text me.
And I felt like Carol had my vote, too.
Yeah.
Carol would have had my vote.
Yeah, Mary Alice probably would have got it.
Mary Alice is the lady who used to run John's place.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat a John's dog?
No, I didn't. I've been into John's place, and I met Mary, but never wanted to, nor would I ever eat something from that place.
Quick fun fact, Mary Alice also worked for the Putnam County Health Department.
No kidding.
Quick fun fact, we also had a best friend that threw the Christmas tree
yeah.
at John's place, the F out into the street.
Out to the road.
And didn't get arrested.
Yeah, that was they were pretty cool there, but I just wouldn't eat from there.
Oh, no. Yeah. I never ate a John's dog either.
I bet you did.
I don't think I did.
I bet you did.
Mine was burnt, the one I got from there.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It's weird. It was college, man. People were doing wild stuff.
Yeah. On a completely different note, I want to thank the Allen boys for sending me this Allen Farms Dodson Branch hat. It's fantastic, and I wish my head wasn't so damn big and I would wear it. I've tried to wear it. It is, unfortunately, a snapback hat, which means that it has to be completely unsnapped to go around my head.
It is a great looking hat.
It is fantastic looking. I am I told my son the other day, which obviously he doesn't know what I'm saying, but I told him, I said, look, you should look forward to a life of never being able to find a hat that fits. Because he's got my big head. That's a good-looking hat, though.
Blake gave us that hat the other day when I was with him, and he gave me a blue one, and I meant to wear it and actually support it tonight, and mine was in the truck, and Lindsay wasn't home with the truck yet, so good.
Well, I put this one on a while ago, and I pulled it down over my fat head, and I supported it until I got that headache. I tell you, just this isn't a joke, folks. I have a double extra large flex fit hat. Anybody that wears hats knows what a flex fit hat is. And I had to go ahead and cut that elastic out of that thing this week because it was pulling on the old noggin so hard that it was giving me a headache.
Damn,
Got a big head, Bubba. Big head, Bubba.
Let's see what this. I'm waiting for here.
Oh, you still calling Nick?
All right.
So for those of you wondering, he was not calling Nick. he just prank called the people about
sexual enhancement.
It's CRX or whatever it was. Unfortunately, we could not play. We could not play that. Could not play that. It was pretty funny though, folks.
I had her permission, but
kinda.
Not really. Not really.
Kinda.
I told her I needed it for.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She knew she was being recorded because so his wife could hear it later.
Well, damn it.
Which I doubt his wife would hear this.
I mean, unless that one person she said tells her that she's listening.
All right.
Narc, whoever you are. Eat a bag of.
Eat a bag of these pills that she had.
Hey,
yeah, we're gonna have to move along here.
We've got a fun concept that's coming back. A little
Ask
fun,
OLR
fun segment.
podcast.
That's OLR. Ask OLR. You know how we got to ask OLR this week? Because we just recorded 4 days ago, and I didn't have jack to talk about when I was trying to format this thing. Yeah. So, as always, you can depend on the great fans and listeners.
And once again, Curtis Rich coming in.
Oh man,
that's like the third or fourth time on this show.
Oh, I think it's the fifth week in a row.
Bam!
And he's been super nice to me. I don't know if he's pregnant or what. Actually, he said that himself. Well, get in there. Let's just jump in here, and we got some answers to give.
So, first thing he asked about was, how about the way life here, or how much millennials suck, and how much different it is now compared to when we grew up. People say all the time that kids have changed, but it's not true. Parents have changed. If we messed up or done some of the things that kids do now, we would have got an ass whipping. What happened here? Well,
here is in reference to Clay County.
Well, here is in reference to anywhere, I guess. That's I'm just going to dissect this a little bit. How about the way of life here? I don't think the way of life here has changed that much. The things that people are doing is people just swapped bad habits for bad habits. So I don't think that's changed that much. But how much millennials suck?
We're actually millennials.
I would say I'm going to not take offense to that because I am on the edge of I guess we're right on the edge of millennials.
Yeah, we are.
But and Curtis Rich is for sure a millennial.
Yeah, that's the best when millennials insult millennials.
Yeah, I don't think it's their fault. Tim Kennedy had a very good quote. Hard times makes hard men make soft times make soft men make hard times, and it's a vicious circle. So I think we're just in part of the circle.
That's impressive. You can remember that.
It's one it's a quote that I really like, because it rings fairly true. You look back at the previous generations, and everybody likes to idealize the previous generation about how hard they were and how hard stuff was, and what it was at that point in time, and it's true to some degree. It'll swing back the other way. At some point in time, people will say we had it harder in our generation than the previous generation did, and it will be true.
I never walked to school in the snow.
It was downhill both ways to my school. So I don't know, and I can look back and say I will say that I have had it as far as millennials sucking and me being a millennial. I will say that I do have a different work ethic than what the generation prior to me did, but it's because of hard men making times easier for us.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to that, me being the person I am.
I think parents are consumed with too many other things. I feel like I remember my mom working a lot of, working and us going straight home and her cleaning house, getting supper cooked. Parents made things look easier. Like I'm like right now, like we're every day we're something, we're running. But our school season, our basketball, we didn't play sports year round. Now these kids and these coaches have us running around constantly, and you'll find out what that's like. And right now there's just no, like I want to take a vacation day right now so bad and spend it with nobody but me.
Right, feel a little selfish and take a day.
Well, I do. I mean, because every day if it's same way with my wife. I mean, we're running somewhere. Yeah. We're picking, hey, you do this and I'll do that. And I've got the kids here, and it's just like, damn, I really want to get on my rhino and ride in the woods and throw my cell phone in the ditch somewhere for a little while. Yeah, and that's me who stays on social media. But
I think if you look realistically, you look back at the parents, they made it look really easy, but that's just in retrospect. They were probably in the same boat, trying to figure it out as they went along, because there ain't no book on this shit. It's just.
No.
There's no how to do this. That was probably a little bit deeper of a response than what he was shooting for there.
Speaking of deeper.
William Howard Russell. Liberals don't want me to start talking politics.
I don't know who brought it up.
I'm gonna look back through this post. Is this sports talk or the podcast? Podcast. Pretty well got sports talk covered now, and I read the last post, and you said, trying to be more active with our listeners for tonight, send us questions or comments for tonight's show by 6 p.m. All will be addressed on the show. So I don't believe the liberals did want you to start talking politics.
And he gives us a long thing that, William knows his stuff about this, or he talks about it a lot, so I do think he knows what he's talking about.
I believe he does too, and I'll read through this. One glance north or across the pond will show that nationalized health care doesn't work. What he's referring to is Europe and Canada, obviously. And he's right. That's why a lot of those people come south, come to us for health care. It's because if you pay doctors a lot of money, then you will get better doctors. If you pay them a shit wage, you're going to get the same thing you get everywhere else when you pay everybody a shit wage.
What else?
Backed up, you have to wait 3+ years for non-life-threatening surgeries like knee, hip, etc. That's exactly right. Canada, they come down here for those surgeries because they can get them done.
He definitely knows what he's talking about here. It's also comical today's people are welcome Sharia law into the United States and how we should be open to it. Let's talk about the law I seen on Afghanistan. One allowed a husband to pour gas on his wife and set her on fire for back-talking him.
That's exactly right. And I actually went on a bit of a
talking about.
Well, Sharia law is total BS. There's a reason that we have separation of church and state in the United States. It's because if you put your religious laws inside of the Constitution, and then everybody's forced into a religion that they don't necessarily believe in. Sharia law is the laws that govern Muslims' interaction. A lot of the thing goes down to in Sharia law is death. Is death. That's you only get like two or three things, 2 or 3 outcomes. It's a body part chopped off, stoned, or death. I mean, there's not a whole lot of outcome that you can have under Sharia law. Here's my favorite one. In Sharia law, if a woman is raped and she cannot go to the police without 4 witnesses coming with her, 4 male witnesses coming with her. If she cannot provide 4 male witnesses, she can be divorced for adultery.
Wow.
Yeah. Sharia law, if it comes in the United States, get it out.
I really don't know where William was coming from when he started asking this stuff. I do know he's very smart in that stuff. Yeah. I almost thought he was borderline trolling us, so if he did, that backfired because Lucas knows all about it.
Oh, yeah. Sharia law, that's no joke. And I'm going to, it's not prefacing now, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I do not believe that all Muslims are bad. I don't. I do believe that what we're fighting right now is extremist Muslims, right? Extreme Islam. And extreme anything is bad. Extreme right wing is really bad. Extreme left wing, really bad. Extreme Islam, really bad. The extremes are what the problem is, right? But there's this thing called Tiqya, Tiqqya, in the Islamic religion that allows them to lie to non-believers. So if they feel like they're being, if they're under attack, if they're being persecuted, they are allowed by Allah or Muhammad. I guess it was the Prophet Muhammad. They're allowed by Muhammad to lie to non-believers. So part of their religion is, go ahead and lie to them. Say whatever you have to get your point across and save the religion. So
I'm lost like last year's Easter egg.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I just got on a tear of Islam the other night.
That's
for some
pretty
reason.
impressive. You know all that.
I don't. It's not. It's just in my.
That you can't even memorize all that.
Well, it's when you. That's just the way I'm turned.
Before we read his, I want to read Blake Allen's stuff because he texted to me instead of putting it on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm afraid we'll miss it if I don't go ahead and read it. What's our favorite part about doing the podcast?
Mine personally is having somebody to talk to that is that's not forced to be around me. I know that wants to be around me. When you're just around people you work with, you don't know whether they would. I love Randy Cherry to death, and I think he and I are friends, but I've only ever been around him in a work situation, so this may be coming out wrong. He's forced to be around me at that situation, so I don't know if he would be around me otherwise. So
you can't get rid of me.
Yeah, that's you're like a
herpes
VD. Yeah.
Don't just limit me to VD because you can get rid of some VD. Can't get rid of the herp.
Well, there you go.
I do it for the kids.
I picked Randy out right then just because I'm around Randy all the time. It's not just him. I've always thought that about all my jobs. Love you, Randy, but you just happen to be on my mind right then.
I do it for the kids.
Yeah, man.
Do it for the kids. Nothing else.
Yeah.
It's like all thing in my life. Do it for the kids.
To get away from them.
No, not those kids.
Oh.
Just the kids.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Also, when I'm dead, you'll never forget this voice. It'll always be lingering around unless you take it off iTunes.
Well, I'm not going to take it off of iTunes, but it could get kicked off.
That has nothing to do with it. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the 2 hours we spend.
I've always, the thing I was thinking about this is you do something like this and you think, after I'm gone, this will still be here, but in all reality, this is only electronic. It'll not be like this piece of paper. Had I wrote something down on this piece of paper, it could last. This most likely will not.
It'll last long enough.
Yeah.
It'll last our lifetime, surely.
I don't know why I'm on this deep kick tonight. I apologize.
Well, I was on my man period Sunday, so you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. Just coming off actually, Curtis and William have another conversation here in just a minute, and I'll hear on down another comments. But Blake Allen said, who would win in a fight, Curtis Rich or William Russell?
Well, I would have to imagine William. I mean, that's not a knock against Curtis, but I'd have to imagine William since he has training.
He is a
military
guard.
officer.
He's a military officer, and he, William keeps himself in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And Curtis has lost a lot of weight, but maybe with the ground and pound, maybe if Curtis gets him down, he'd give a little shot to the noggin.
I'd say it'd be a hell of a ride getting in there, though. I don't know that I'd want any part of it.
William would maybe talk him out of it once he got him down.
Yeah,
he would probably troll him to absolute death. But it would make him feel so bad about himself that Curtis would just let him up and cry himself to sleep. Be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be something.
I'm probably sorry, Curtis. I mean, and
I'm putting my money on William, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Doug Martin -150.
Yeah.
Is that the right way?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I also asked Lucas what he has against the bench press. I'm a bench, squat, and deadlift guy, and that helped me way more than anything else I tried. Come on, man.
No, it didn't. That squat and that deadlift helped you more than anything you tried. That bench press didn't do anything but get you better at bench press, and squat and deadlift got you better at everything else. And I'm going to go ahead and say that had you not been doing those deadlifts, that your bench wouldn't have got as much better. It's not a compound joint movement. It is. It is a compound movement, but it's not as good as those other ones. It's not. That's it. That's what I got against it. It's a really good exercise to get good at that exercise, but those other ones will get you better at everything else.
Yeah. So, bam. Is Jimmy Campbell the younger reincarnation of James Hatcher?
No, that's possible. That's possible.
They shared a lot of. They've shared a lot of things in life, I think, but
yeah,
share a lot of qualities.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you see the similarities in James and Jimmy?
Yeah.
Did Jimmy?
I'm not going to name any of them. There was a list of them that just run through my head, but I'm not going to say any
last
of
time
that.
I had you poke that bear, we had Thad crying, thinking you hated him.
Yeah, Thad was mad at me until last week, I believe.
I'm not sure that James listens all that commonly, but I'm sure enough people will tell him what we said.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't know. I think he does listen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to say
I'm not.
Not one thing.
Mm-mm.
Similarity.
No.
Well, all right. We'll leave it at that. Also, would James leave Sarah for Brett Favre?
Yeah. All day.
I think he would give a reach around to Brett Favre, but I think it would take Aaron Rodgers
to get him.
Yeah. I think he's more of an Aaron Rodgers guy than a Brett Favre guy.
What if Favre had a cheese head on?
Ooh. Butt naked with Crocs and a cheese head?
Mm-hmm.
James Hatcher's gone.
Did you see his pick? Did you see the Brett Favre pick?
I didn't. I didn't. I knew he had Crocs on.
I just wasn't impressed. For a hero, for a guy that's larger than life.
He wasn't larger in life.
In life, he's not larger.
Not in life. Should he have called the male enhancement place?
He should have, and he shouldn't have taken that pick. That's not one you want floating out around there. I mean, he's been in locker rooms. He knows what kind of he knows what kind of monsters are lurking out there. But he went ahead and took that one.
I was more concerned about the Crocs.
Yeah, that wouldn't be what I was concerned with. Hold on just a second. All right, we're back. I don't know what's going on there, but it was fine.
Kelly Jones
coming in strong. Why Hermitage Springs kids with red bowling address can't go to RBS without penalty or tuition? They must travel to Clay County High School. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard both sides. Not certain on facts. Maybe you could research it, but it's interesting local topic. That is interesting. I'm not quite sure. I've always had a red bowling Springs address, and red bowling is, I think like Tony Snankard says here, it's 2 miles down the road, and you got to travel all the way over to Slime to get to the other one, but. It's got to stop somewhere, I guess.
We're from the era where it didn't matter where I lived in Jackson County my whole life and got to go to Hermitage Springs for free.
Uh-huh.
Nobody cared 1989 through 2002, and it doesn't make sense. I know. I mean, it's not a cheap tuition either, is it? It's like $1,500. Is that right?
I'm not sure what the tuition is. I was over there the other night and realized I have more family in Red Bowling than I do in Clay County, so I was I don't know why we never went over there. It just is what you.
Yeah, because why would you?
Well, I mean, whenever we went to school, it was. Well, for me, it was 2-minute drive.
I'd rather be homeschooled and go to school at Red Bowling Springs.
I don't know. I knew a lot of people over there.
I'd rather go. No, I'm just kidding. Go back up. We missed some stuff.
Oh, did we?
No, I'm just kidding. I always give Red Bowling crap. It's only because it was one of our rivals, and it's Red Bowling. Kelly Jones had a Titans thing. Wycheck is his Titans, and Don Esbury says Derek Mason, the short guy, got it done. My bet is. I'm not the only one who answers. Best title on the other hand is Steve McNair.
Don coming in for the short guy.
Yeah,
advocating for the short guy. Tony Stankard, like I referred to a while ago, I agree. I'd like to know the reason. I have a RBS address, live 2 miles from the school in Red Bowling, but they will send my boys 20 miles across the county line to Salina. It seems kind of crazy. That is crazy.
Having to pick between Salina and Red Bowling's the crazy thing right there. That's the headache.
Yeah, for old school Springers.
But if you're, but just be prepared. If you send your kids to Clay County, if they play sports, they're going to graduate at 26 like they're in the new Piggott County.
William Russell, should the Senate go ahead with the vote for the Supreme Court nominee if the woman doesn't show up to testify on Monday? Should they? Yes. Will they? No, they will not. They'll wrap this up until November after the midterms, and then it'll have a full Democratic or a half a Democratic panel to vote on it. So it's lawyers will tie this up, and Kavanaugh won't get to be elected in. I wouldn't think.
Pretty interesting, really.
Yeah, well, it is.
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Mark Wayne Hensley. Go ahead, DK.
Why are all celebrities liberals? I'm not a Trump fan, but the amount of anti-Trump mess that comes from the liberal media and celebrities is just comical. Whatever, even out at all.
No. I don't know why they all are, but they. But if they're not, like James Woods is an outspoken Republican, and they've kicked him off of Twitter and every damn thing.
I've never seen a president this chastised.
Yeah,
completely all over the media. I mean, every talk show host, these late night talk show hosts, there's no way they could have talked about Obama the way they've carried on with Trump.
God,
I mean,
no.
you know, they'd all be pulled off there if they said the same thing about Obama. But, and even a lot of musicians, Jason Isbell's the biggest liberal out there.
Yeah, but you know, there's just certain character traits that you know people share that are really talented.
Yeah,
you know, have some type of talent like that, and they and for whatever reason that those character traits also are lean towards being a Democrat.
Well, and that's just the end thing right now too. This liberal thing is just the end thing. I think
there's a lot to that.
Sherilyn up top. I missed Sherilyn on the tag. I was just coming back from my lunch break today when I created this post, and so I missed her on the. Why I'm always getting left out of these tags. Like I've not been a listener prior to the hiatus, and she has. Love her to death. She's been, and she talked about me with Cassie at a random bar.
Accident, schmaccident, she said.
I said, okay, well, she comes back apparently because she's got a bunch of questions somewhere on this post. But Derek Woolbright he asked the hard-hitting questions right here.
You can only order one thing off the Dirty Burger menu for the rest of your lives. What is it? Jason Emerton, you're right. That's a good question. And well, I don't know if it's an easy one or not.
A few more replies there.
Let's see what else we got here. Derek Woolbright says, I know mine and Emerton's answer would always be the same, a pizza burger life.
All about that pizza burger life. I'm at work today, and we're currently calling in orders at Emerton's.
Rich said spicy spuds, full show.
Chase Fraley, Munchers without a doubt.
With
Yum, says Mark Wayne Hensley. Jason Emerton, there it is, boys.
That pizza burger. Tony Stankard says, if you get the loaded nachos with tomatoes and beans and lettuce and stuff, but add grilled chicken to it, oh my God, it's the bomb. And I believe I just found my next Dirty Burger order. Thank you, Tony Stankard.
Sounds good. I didn't know they had loaded nachos there.
Sherilyn said, is that a chuck wagon? Going to go ahead and say it's a pizza burger.
Yeah.
Say previous posts.
Yeah. And Jason did say it's a pizza burger. It kind of looks like a chuck wagon, but tastes like a pizza. I got a hot take right here. I've never had the pizza burger. It's the one thing of Dairy Burger I've never had in my life.
I called down there and asked what it tasted like one time.
Did you?
I really did.
What'd they say?
They said it tastes like pizza. I said, well, no shit.
Yeah. So did you eat it?
No, I didn't get one.
So neither one of us have ever had a pizza
I
burger.
think I've had one, but it's not something I order on the regular. I'm going to go ahead and get in there with Jason and say them munchers, son.
Yeah, I just had some munchers from the other day. If I have to order something every day the rest of my life from there, it's the giant burger. I'm not a fan of the any other kind of patties that Dairy Burger's got.
Yeah.
They don't have a good hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. The regular hamburger, it's not good. The mini burgers, all right. But the big giant burger and then the munchers.
Yeah.
With a cherry
You can
Dr.
only
Pepper.
get one thing. That's 3.
That's a meal, brother.
One thing, munchers, son. Mike DeMeza coming in with a hard-hitting question. Boobs or butts? Don Esbury says he votes legs.
Well,
I'm about that butt life, son.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I say all 3 again?
Yeah, if you want to, but I'm gonna say butt.
You ever notice sometimes that
You got some 36 double D's? Okay. What's your butt look like? That's where I'm at.
What you ever notice that it's either one or the other with a lot of people?
Yeah. I mean, if I have to choose one, there you go. I mean, I like a well-rounded physique.
Nice boobs are eventually going to be saggy boobs, and nice butts are eventually going to be that back ass that a lot of women get. You know that back ass?
Yeah, I mean, my back is like 18 inches longer than it should be right now. Sitting in a chair too long.
But the legs can stay, Don's right, legs can stay nice
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
especially...
You ever watch New Girl?
No.
It's this show we're currently watching on Netflix, and the girl asked for 5 things, or she said something. He said, "I can give you 5 reasons right now that that other than that one." She said, "Name 5." He said, "Boob, boob, vagina, butt cheek, butt cheek." So
I guess I'll have to go with boob, just because. Only because
that kind of fits your MO.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't ever want to be with a chick who you got bigger boobs than. And I'm not a small man, so it'd be pretty intimidating to have bigger boobs than your girl.
Sherilyn comes in, 1 CD to listen to on repeat anytime you are in the car. What is it?
Who the hell still listens to CDs?
I don't even know what a CD is anymore.
I got a cassette player. What are you talking about? Nah, what would be your album? Your go-to album? I don't know.
I don't like any one album, but if I had to pick one right now, it's that Red Barn Radio, Tyler Childers, because I've literally listened to it on repeat for 2 weeks.
Now, is she talking about a mix CD like you'd put? Like,
I don't think so. I'm thinking
one
she's
album.
meaning one EP.
Golly, man, give me Hank Jr.'s greatest hits. I guess the greatest hits album, Hank Jr.
She also says, will there ever be another concert event at the park like a couple years ago? Will there be another event? Most likely. Will it be at the park? Most likely not.
Okay.
At DK, favorite honky tonk of all time in Nashville.
Okay, so historically, there's a lot. I'll go by saying this. I've never been a fan of the Stage. That was the one I've never been a fan of. I don't know why. Nowadays, I love Legends. Legends is never as packed as a lot of other places. I got some great stories from Legends I'll never be able to tell, at least on here. I love Legends, though.
Which bar is Legends?
It's the one on the corner, Legends Corner. It's the one right across from Rippies.
Like you walk in, and then it's got a second level that you...
It's the one we stood at that one day that we was looking for equipment.
Yeah.
The Billy Ray Cyrus stand-up.
I don't have any good stories, but I've heard a bunch of good stories from there.
A lot of great stories from there.
Yeah.
Now, I always liked Paradise Park before it went out, before it got too crowded. When it first came in, I liked Paradise Park a lot. I like Rippies. I like going up to Rippies and eating. And okay, long story short, then I guess if I'm taking somebody from out of town to a place, I'm gonna let them go see Tootsie's because it's the most
That's the one everybody wants to see.
You know, Kid Rock's in town. He's going to Tootsie's. Anybody's in town. I seen Brock Lesnar almost kill Jeremy Mackie at Tootsie's. I saw Nikki Bella's fine ass dance to "You Shook Me All Night Long" on the second level of Tootsie's with all the other WWE divas that were there. It's a lot of. I mean, so Tootsie's is the spot. You know, I mean, you know, there's Dustin Kennedy and marker all over that place with Sharpies for years and years, ranging from 2004 to now, you know. And let's see. So my night on the town would be, I'd take, you go maybe eat Rippies, listen to some music, go to Tootsie's, then you end your night at the Big Bang Piano Bar. If you've never been to the Big Bang, they play everything from Charlie Daniels to the Yin Yang Twins. That's my.
Is that the one with the dueling pianos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've changed the location for now, but you got it. That's you got to check that out.
Yeah, and then also at DK, favorite crackhead and why?
You can't pick between. I mean, you know, as close as I am to Brad now, I mean, but I've always been close to. I don't get to see AJ as much as I'd like to see him.
All right.
Everybody automatically thinks it's just Brad, but me and AJ were pretty tight for a long time too. I have just as many fun AJ stories as I have Brad stories. I just see Brad more. I love them both.
At Lucas, how do you put up with DK? Lindsay can answer this too. Been doing it for a long time. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably Lindsay's answer too. We don't know any different.
Yeah, that's it.
At DK, want me to keep going? Yes, I like it. Ha. She says, if you could go back to circa day 90s and keep one thing the same forever, what would you pick? Example, Walkmans forever instead of downloading music. What's one thing out of the 90s that you would want to keep the same forever?
My innocence.
I'm
kidding. Not Jorts, because Jorts came back and it's not a good look.
There's nothing about the 90s that I would want to keep.
Do you wish that Dawson's Creek was still on?
No.
The 90s.
Sega Genesis. I would bring Sega Genesis back probably.
Yeah. I wish I could just, Sega NBA Jam.
Tournament edition. Yeah.
The 90s, nah. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to go back to the 90s sometimes and just, nah. I don't. The 90s, I don't know. We got to give her a better answer. The Sega Genesis is a good answer, but the 90s, Zima. I'm just kidding. Zima. Red Dogs and Zima.
What the hell had cartoons from the 90s were pretty good.
I do. Look, kids will never know. Like, thank God, TGIF Fridays on Friday nights. Those family
TGI
shows.
Fridays was really good.
The Saturday morning cartoon.
I'd bring back Topanga probably.
I love Topanga.
Yeah.
She's still hot.
Yeah,
we don't have to go back.
Maybe
to the 90s.
not from the 90s part. You know, maybe she's a little older than that.
I mean, Saturday morning cartoons. I mean, I don't know what the hell kids watch now. Saturday morning cartoons
are gone. They're just cartoons all the time now.
Walkmans
I didn't
were cool, though.
I didn't care for the 90s too much.
Apparently.
Yeah, I didn't. 2000s maybe. I'd have been able to come up with something from the 2000s, but I didn't care for the 90s.
Reco specs. Our glasses. But Eric used to wear them Horace Grants.
Ooh, he looked so cool in those.
Those are 90s.
What'd you call them?
Reco specs or something like that.
They were cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Humphrey comes in. Will there be another acoustic day in the park? And if so, is Travis Humphrey a lock to play?
Oh, you're looking at me?
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, Travis is always invited to.
Travis is always going to play.
Always in, because Travis knows he's.
Travis is in there. He's going to play.
Travis is in. Yeah. He's in.
Be call number 1 or 2. I don't know when it'll be.
Well, there is going to be something.
Yeah, there'll be something.
And Travis will be there in solo.
I skipped one of Don's questions there, and it was hilarious. But I'm going to go back to his other one there. I got a couple of questions for Lucas, Connor or Khabib. So that's a very, very interesting question. There has not been a lot of, I mean, there's a hell of a lot of talk about this fight, but there's not been a lot coming from either of the camps. My thoughts are Connor, because Connor's Connor. Khabib, though, is such a monster. If he gets that, if he gets a hold of you, you're going for a ride. Khabib's really dangerous. I mean, but his last fights, you kind of started to see some holes develop in his game. I'm going to go with Connor. I just that's more of a I just want Connor to win because I want Connor back fighting in MMA. I want him back where he's at home at. We haven't seen him fight in 2 years in MMA, so I mean it's kind of a dangerous fight for him. Khabib's on that game, but Connor's not been. It's not like he's not done anything, and and they say ring rust is real, but that's for people get nerves walking back in there. I don't think Connor is subject to those nerves. Man, I think Connor. And then thoughts on weight cuts. I think they're stupid. They're real stupid and they're dangerous. People come in and they cut down to 140. Like Connor cuts down to like 145, or used to cut down to 145 to fight. Hell, he walks around at like 170. You're going to lose 25 pounds to go down and fight, and you're going to come back in rehydrated to some degree. Your body's going to be rehydrated back up to like 165 or 170. So I don't know why they even call it a 145 pound class. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. The only ones that are even close to true is those heavyweights. They can be anywhere from 265 down to 205 or whatever it is, and that's what they walk around at. Except for Brock, he comes in at like 300 pounds, cuts down to 265, and he's back around 290 on the day of the fight.
It's natural.
But they're just dangerous, and there's so many better ways to do it out there. There's I'm forgetting the name of the group now that's testing hydration throughout your camp. So that they can see where you're at, so that you have to come in at your weight. You can't be dehydrated that day that you get up there. If you're dehydrated during your camp, they'll pull your card. They won't let you go out and fight. So weight cuts are just dangerous, and there's no need for them. Just add more divisions. It ain't like people don't tune in to see that 145 pound fight. They tune in to see Connor fight. They tune in to see Khabib fight. And they don't give a damn what they weigh.
That's right.
I mean,
it's for the characters, not the weight class.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean they don't make any sense right now. I mean, UFC's not about the divisions and that stuff anymore. They're about the big money fights now.
That's it.
What CAA? It's not that CAA bought it or whatever. I mean, they're just looking to make money. But you got that $4.4 billion nut you're trying to pay off every month. So I mean, I would be too.
Yeah, I don't care anything about weight cuts. I just want the stars.
I want to see the stars. I want to see Brock. I want to see Brock fight John Jones, and I don't care if Brock is 265 pounds and John Jones is 205. I don't give a damn who's who.
I'm okay if they're both juicing.
Yeah, I really am too. It's like baseball. I'd rather see Barry Bonds and whatever the other guy's name is.
Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, hit home runs. I'd see him.
I don't care if Sammy Sosa is black or looks like the Wayans brothers off White Girls.
Yeah, I don't
care.
I want to see him. If everybody's just like juiced to the gills, then and everybody knows it and everybody's okay with it, go for it. I'm ready for the Pride days to come back. Everybody just out there.
That's like pro wrestling. I don't really believe that handful of pro wrestlers are really pro wrestlers. I'm sorry, all my favorite wrestlers. I mean, my favorite wrestlers still living, but I mean, the ones we grew up on are dead because.
Yeah, speaking of, Ric Flair got married.
I know.
Yeah, ain't that
and
weird.
Walked out to the Ric Flair drip. So he's never going to change. Ric Flair never changed.
Yeah.
I want my wrestlers to look like they're wrestlers, just like my fighters. I don't want to see these little guys that look like they're managers at Walgreens during the day and wrestle at night. I don't want to see this shit.
Yeah.
I want to see guys in muscles where I don't have places.
Yeah, like TJ Dillashaw right now, he's not on juice, but he's got his game together and his camp together and where he's moved out to. And he had a really good interview on Rogan the other day. He's just on top of his game right now and more muscular than he's ever been. So, there's ways to do it without it. But, you're going out there to beat the crap out of each other anyway, so why not take all your weapons with you when you go,
That's it.
Question for DK. This is one that caught me off guard a while ago. Walruses or donkeys?
Oh, well.
For the record, I'm talking about teeth.
Oh, absolutely. Where else would you go with that? As much as love as I have for growing up watching donkey basketball in Harmony Springs Gym, and any other time I'd go with the donkey question on that. But if I'm drinking 3 or 4 big fishbowl margaritas at El Tap for somebody's birthday, then I'm taking the walrus every time. DK, I'm a walrus. Every time. My God.
That's funny.
Lisa J, shout out to your cousin Austin Garino. He's my friend. Oh, it's not her cousin, it's her friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good talk. You also brought us Jesse Kramer.
Oof. And hey, DK, for those of us this is Tony Stanker, by the way, and for those of us that aren't up to date on certain things, how do you listen to it? Is it on YouTube or what? Oh, but never mind. Sorry, I shouldn't.
Yeah, just Stitcher. For anybody that's still new, if you don't have an iPhone, you have an Android, Stitcher. Slim Allen, why can't I just buy the Red Zone channel on DirecTV? It's the only one I watch. I don't know, call them, threaten to cancel, and that'll be that. I'm going to YouTube television for too long. TV.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, hell yeah, that's the way to go. I believe I'm about to change.
And Andrew Meadows, who would be in the college playoffs today, and who do you think will be by year's end?
I know the popular answer here is Alabama, but if I had to bet on any football team ever, right now or at the end of if Lance Harbor doesn't get hurt, and if Tweeter can get his mind right,
mm-hmm.
and you can throw Johnny Moxon in at the Wildcat every now and then, assuming Lance Harbor's still right, and you get Billy Bob's fat ass up to doing something and not passing out in class. I'm taking the West Canaan Coyotes all day long.
I was sitting there thinking
it's the best damn football team I've ever seen in my life.
I was thinking, is he doing a movie right here?
We got to get Wendell some catch. We got to get Wendell some carries, man. The token black guy on that movie. God Almighty, get that boy some carries. And somebody send Miss Davis to me. We didn't have no Miss Davis down here in the Springs.
She's
a 10.
That poor old fella's dead now.
I know it. R.I.P. Billy Bob. Matt Chapman, mine is going to be sports related. How can Steve Slim Allen? Can you just be Steve Allen or Slim Allen? That's a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
Let 2 of his little brothers grow up to be Gators fans.
I was going to say Slim from now on. Steve Allen stuff. They're Mildred children. They can never got enough. Golly, it's about spell check, brother. They're Mildred children. They never got. Oh, there we go. It's my fault. They never got enough attention, so they had to be different. Different they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's another teacher thing. Justin Ryan's going to try to come on the show. Caleb, he must have texted to me or tweeted to me. Hell, I don't know. I can't keep up. He just asked why Blake Allen was notably absent in the Jason Eady photos. Derek Rich was also there, and Derek he shies away from the camera, but it's just me and Cucumber in the picture with Jason. He asked where, I don't know. Blake seemed pretty busy that night. I don't know. I don't know where Blake was at. I think he was right there at the table. Now, if I made up an answer, I'd say he was like at a Cougar convention, occupied, like somebody on his lap while the genuine. No, I was. Write this down. Fuck. So if I was guessing now, I can't speak for Blake. I thought he was there. I don't know how he missed a picture, but of course I could make something up. I mean, I completely out of left field. It's not true, but if it'd be funny if like while we were talking to Jason Eady, he was like, I don't know, at a cougar convention with a bunch of teachers or something. Like I could see a bunch of middle school teachers roaming around and, was running straight into a cougar convention and karaoke and Genuine's My Pony. Blake looks like a guy that'd get up there and karaoke.
Hey, well, he
My Pony.
I bet he knows all the words.
I guarantee you. He's probably danced up on that a few times.
Yeah.
At the bars at Revolver / Lava / Bob's Library. So I don't know what he was doing, but I mean, he was probably combing that sweet stash he's got, and
I got to see this thing.
It's creepy.
Yeah,
it's creepy. But I mean, who knows what he was doing? He was all over the place that night, so he went missing a time or two. But also,
I say, you got any other ones? Because that was a good list off of Facebook there. Good questions, folks.
Especially coming in at lunch today. It's pretty. Thank y'all for stepping up.
Yeah.
Because we just recorded 4 days ago, like I said, and I didn't. Even though a lot of times we say we have nothing to talk about, we end up with an hour and a half.
Right.
Still, but Chris Collett, he mentioned again. You mentioned a couple months ago about a potential semi-private concert. Any update on that? It will be 100% private, and 2 shows. Jason Eady and Andrew Pope, both guys we've had on the podcast. Jason Eady will probably be more so in the Gainesboro area, maybe Cookeville, depending on what we find price wise. I already have my price with Jason negotiated. Just got to find the right place.
Right.
The way we won't be out
in the right time.
Any more money in the right time. Andrew Pope is liable to be on a farm somewhere with a bonfire. It just
probably needs to be.
Yeah, and that's
probably where he'll be at home anyway.
We've also worked out I've actually got the details with him pretty well worked out. We just need to find a time. And I also like to say thank you to Jason Eady. He sent me some stuff in the mail this week. So
good.
Thank you. Deal. Thank you for that, Jason Eady. And
well, I hate to cut this one because it's going pretty good, but I've got a baby upstairs I got to go pat down.
Sure enough. All right. Well, thank y'all.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for the Ask OLR questions. Those were fantastic questions.
We'll do it again later. I like to do that stuff, and we're going to work on some stuff for next week. There's so many segments I had in my old notes, my old cell phone before it crashed. I'm a little aggravated that I've lost so many ideas that I had for this reboot.
Yeah, we may bring back the commercials here sometime soon too.
I wish we. Yeah. I hope y'all. I can't tell you where in the hell it's at on old episodes, but I hope you stumble up on them
on the old commercials.
Yeah, there's about 3 of them.
Yeah, that was pretty
stuff.
good.
So,
all right, everybody, thanks for listening.